So it's time for a new devlog, and today I'm so happy and proud to show you the latest progress about this motorcycle. And it took me roughly 3 or 4 weeks to get it working and to understand how stuff works. And yeah, as you know already, if you work with the vehicle system from Unreal Engine, you might have a lot of pain, or you need a lot of motivation to keep on moving and to get stuff working, because you can step into a lot of issues. You cannot imagine how many if you not worked with this one already. And yeah, I'm very proud of it that I got it working with physics. It's not chaos yet. We will talk about a little bit how I got it working, not in detail because it's a lot of C++ code and you might get bored when I show all the implementation to you. And at first I need to say I did not model this motorcycle. It's from Sketchfab and everyone can download it for free. But I created the rig for it so that I can animate it in Unreal Engine with an animation blueprint. And I used the automotive materials pack from Epic, and to be honest, this really looks epic. And yeah, it's just doing a great job. I really like the details, like the plastic here, or the painting, or look at the tires. This is really amazing. It's so incredible realistic. And yeah, basically the guy who created this model modeled every part of the vehicle, of the motorcycle. The wheels, the clutch, the engine, everything. Really everything. The lights, yeah, the handles, the handlebar. So yeah, everything. It's it's completely mind-blowing when I was working on this vehicle. And yeah, it took me quite some time also to learn the rigging process with Maya. I also tried it with Blender. That worked kind of, but I had some issues with exporting the model into an FBX file. I don't know why yet. We need to find it out. The size was 5 times bigger than the initial file, and I did not know why. And Unreal Engine had a lot of issues to import it. It took ages, and yeah, it didn't work, which was the reason why I switched to Maya. And yeah, as I said, I did not create this model. I will also put a link down in the description for it so that you can download it as well and tinker with it. Maybe you will also get it working in Unreal Engine if you know how to. And yeah, but at first, let me play a little bit with the motorcycle and drive around so that you can see that it drives. And I play the game, and I'm now quiet. Yeah, the steering is not perfect yet. I will now stop playing the game and will bring back the blueprints. I think you might now be more interested how I got it working. At first, it's a complete forked system from Unreal Engine, and I did this as I was not able to extend the code for this use case. So I decided to fork everything and put it into our own plugin so that we can use it basically, and I can change the code how I want. Because the main reason was Unreal Engine does not really support 2-wheeled vehicles or 3-wheeled or 1-wheeled vehicle, because it doesn't implement the needed function calls for the underlying physics engine, which is from NVIDIA. It's called physics. It's not chaos yet. I did not try this one with chaos. Maybe it works, I don't know, but I think it will not work because I had to mess around with the physics API to get it working. And what is different for the system is that we can enable those specific wheels we need, and we can also set a wheel class which is the same like in the stock system. It's this one here. So yeah, there I did not change yet anything. And we can also set a movement bone, which is basically for the rotation of the wheel, which is similar to the ones in Unreal Engine as well. But we can also set the rotation axis, so you don't have to take care anymore with this system about how you rig the wheels, basically in which directions the bones are pointing. And yeah, this is really handy. And you can also set the bone you want to use for spinning, forget the wheel spinning. And also, which this one is not supported by Unreal Engine as well, we can set also a steering bone. As you have seen, we have this handlebar, and if we rotate this one, the suspension and the wheel should move as well. And that's what I created the rig for. And we can rotate this bone with the system. Additionally, I also want to introduce a suspension bone. So let me show you this one on the rig. So let me open the skeleton of this. Let me also save. Where is it? It's in T-Motion. Meshes. Yeah, I'm still experimenting with stuff. It's the first day I got it working. So yeah, be patient. It's not yet cleaned up, but I will clean it up very soon. So as you have seen, here is the bone. Let me move a little bit closer. So if we rotate the handlebar, the wheel and the suspension, which is this one, suspension, we can move upwards or downwards. So it's this one here. Not so much maybe. We can configure this with the system. And then the wheel. So this one is the wheel. As you see, we can move it around, and if we rotated this in this axis, it also spins. And that's what the animation blueprint does for us. And this one is very convenient. You should see how the animation blueprint looks like. It's very easy to use as a user. As a developer, it's some work. So you just use the local space ref post node and then this node here. And as you see, there's no setting. Everything is handled in C++. It's a custom node basically. And then we put this to the output node, output post node, and we can configure everything here on the movement component, which is also a custom one specific for vehicles with up to 4 wheels. That's different from Unreal Engine. It supports up to 4 wheels when I'm done. And you can also introduce up to 16 wheels which are not driven, so they don't get a torque basically. And this is supported by physics, but again, not implemented in Unreal Engine, which is very sad. But I think I can get it working now. I have now the knowledge. And to be honest, I'm also able to recompile physics and debug into the system. So yeah, Epic provides it as open source, and we can mess around with it if we know how to. And yeah, it took me 2 days to figure out how I can compile this library and get the debug symbols for Visual Studio. But now I have a custom engine build from source with debug symbols for physics as well, so I can debug everything. And to be honest, it was also needed to find an issue, because I worked with 2 wheels and then started the game and bam, it crashed. And I wondered why, and there was a null pointer access. And I figured out that you have to create some proxy shapes basically for the wheels, which you don't use, because the system works like the following. You instantiate a vehicle with 4 wheels, and then you disable the wheels which you don't want to use for the simulation. And yeah, this caused the entire engine or editor to crash. And yeah, it was very funny to see how you can compile physics for Unreal Engine 4.27. And yeah, in the event graph it looks quite similar. We have this steering input node. It's the same function basically like we have in stock Unreal Engine, and we can set the throttle input. Additionally, I rotate the camera like in every other system, and here I was playing around with the braking light basically. So if you press this spacebar, is it here for braking, our action binding is called jump action. Yeah, it does not very fit to this use case, but it works perfectly fine. And then we can increase the light intensity or let it like we have configured here. And yeah, let me also show you something more. So this system does not yet use a PID controller to balance the motorcycle, because if you disable one wheel, you will not have to take care about this issue. But if you disable more than 2 wheels, then the physics engine decides to let your motorcycle roll over. I will show this here in the physics asset. It looks really weird, but yeah, it's very funny to see. So let me make it a little bit bigger. So, and if we simulate, you see the motorcycle falls over. And yeah, this is really funny, and also the reason why you have to balance the body. And I will do this with the PID controller. I already did a proof of concept there, but for getting the first movement working, I'm using the constraints. And look, let me show you the constraints. So here you can lock the rotation, then your motorcycle will not fall over. What we have seen in the video or on the playtest before. And yeah, here the PID controller is already prepared. So let me check its PID controller. Here are the values, and this one will be processed in the update function of this movement component, and then hopefully it will balance very well the motorcycle body. And yeah, this really works quite well already, but the steering does not work yet quite well, and I need to tinker around with this. Where is it? It's from the vehicle system, from Unreal Engine as well. It's a torque curve, differential, transmission. Here's the steering setup. There we can play around with the amount of steer we can do if we have a specific velocity basically. And yeah, this is really interesting. I did not yet played around with it. It's just the stock settings, and if we drive too fast and steer too much, the motorcycle might fall over normally in the real world. Here it will spin. But yeah, as I said, I will also work on this one, but at first I need to get the suspensions working. They are not implemented yet. And we can also have a quick look at the debugging flow so that you can see a little bit more. But for that I need to go into a level which is a bit more quiet, so that I can talk. So I'm playing. So let me go here and play some full screen. And if you want to debug vehicles in Unreal Engine, there is this special command which is called show debug vehicle, and then we can see all the states. And here you can see the green cylinders basically. This is the shape that is forwarded to the physics engine, and it will basically trace against the world and calculate our translation wheel movement for the suspensions, and therefore I have to animate the rear wheel and the front wheel. And the front wheel, we have already seen this bone which we can move up and down. And if I go back to the skeleton, I already rigged also the back of the motorcycle. Let me find which bone it is. It's the swing arm. It's this one. So let me go closer. So that this one goes or rotates up and down if we are driving over rocks or so on the street is not that good. And also, where was it? There inside in the motorcycle we also have this spring damper system, which I will also animate. So basically everything you see here is rigged and we can rotate it procedurally with an animation blueprint node, modify bone for example, or we can write our own ones. And let me show you the left foot peg left foot peg basically. So here we can rotate it upwards or downwards, and yeah, I will provide some functions for this one so that you can just call it and then with a curve and then it goes up and down how we want, or we can animate it with a character. And I will also work on characters as well, so that we have a character on top of this motorcycle which drives this motorcycle. Of course it looks weird if we drive around like here. And yeah, let me show you again. So yeah, how does the handlebar move? With magic? With a ghost? No, it should be a character. And I was also playing around a little bit with the light. As you can see here, it already rotates with the handlebar or with the braking light. So if I press the space bar, light intensity will increase. And yeah, I also need to play around with the values for the slip basically, so that this wheel does not spin that much if we rotate. That looks really weird. So yeah, it's the first prototype, and yeah, it works quite well already. I had a lot of issues to get it working, and we can also enable the debug view. That's also from the stock system basically, but it provides an arrow which you might not see. There it was. Let me drive a little bit back. So where is it? Yeah, you can see it. Now we see it. Maybe you will not see it on YouTube. It's way too thin. I need to work a little bit on this more. But yeah, it still works, and it's a really two-wheeled vehicle, not four. Really two. You can see them here. 2 cylinders. And yeah, let me know in the comments below what you think about the system. Would you see more about it? Should I share more details, or do you have any specific questions? And I will keep you updated anyway, because I'm so happy that I got it working. And we will see each other in the next devlog, and hopefully we will have more procedurally animated parts of this motorcycle and maybe also the character working. We will see.